name's Carl, coming at you today in Raid Shadow Legends. As you know, the other day with the big 4.3 update, which brought with it team presets and team preset configurations, which has made a massive difference to quite a few champions. The main one being, in my opinion, our boy Santa. He's been great for Unkillable clan boss teams since he came out, but with the caveat, don't book out his A2 Polar Protection. So if you book Polar Protection and Goodwill down, you end up with a bit of a problem of he prioritises Polar Protection over Goodwill, which is his unkillable buff and what you need to make an unkillable team with him work on auto until this update. So what we've managed to do is we are running, if we go to clan boss, as you can see here, a full auto. I suppose it's Batman Forever with Warcaster and Santa in it. So if we go, it will run on Ultra Nightmare, Nightmare and Brutal. We haven't hit Brutal yet today, so we won't go there. So if we go into Ultra Nightmare, I can show you the setup for this. So using the team presets, you can see I've got two built out. I've got my Void team and an Affinity team. Difference being swapping Fane for Doom Priest. Now, the logical thing here to do would probably be to swap Frozen Banshee for Doom Priest and run Fane as my main DPS. But due to gear, I can't run Fane at the speed requirements that Frozen Banshee runs at. But that's beside the point. So as we can see, both of these teams are configured and will both run full auto from the start. So let's have a look at how we've done this. So as you can see, if we click that, it shows us these are our 5 champions, and if we click on them all, it will show us their 3 or 4 or 2 abilities, depending on which champion you have chosen. So Frozen Banshee and Fane are both the same. You can leave them both alone, you don't have to touch their A1 or anything. They will run full auto for the entire fight. Frozen Banshee I have, however, tweaked her A1 to be her opener and then set it so it just runs as default. This is just personal preference because because of running this at 2-1, we will end up on turn count 1 after the first AoE with either no poisons out and no poison sensitivity with this setup, or at the end of the first A1 we will end up with poison sensitivity and no poisons, because Fane is going to lead off with Flowing Style, which is her decreased defense and weaken. So that's just personal preference. It will run either way. It will not make any difference to your composition or how you run this team. That's literally just down to personal preference. Sir Nicholas, who's the big one here. So for this comp, we set his A1 as his opener. So we'll use this first turn in first round. After turn 1, other instructions take over, and then default. So no instructions used according to how the AI would normally use it. Goodwill is set to default, so no instructions. We'll use that as the AI would normally recommend they use it. Polar Protection, this is the one that messes up your unkillable runs. Wherever you go, if you look at a Santa team, this is the skill that will shut down your unkillable, put your whole thing out of sync, and cause your unkillable to run out. So we disable it. Simply do not use on the A2, because especially with this comp, running both Santa and Warcaster on both AoEs and, well, importantly, both AoEs and the stun, you will have either Goodwill, so unkillable, or Invincible Aura, block damage. buff on all allies whenever you are hit by the clan boss. So shields are going to make no difference because you're just not going to take a strike that will kill you. You're either going to take no damage and a stun, or take damage and not die. It's that simple. And then Seeker for this, we've got him set to use his A1 as his opener, and then after that, default no instructions on his A1, and default no instructions on his A2. And this is my void setup. And if we come back out of this and go to my affinity setup where I've got Doom Priest in, it will be exactly the same, but what I've done is I've turned mass possession off for him as personal preference, because the increased attack will be coming from Seeker, and although Doom Priest doesn't hit all that hard with how I've got him built out due to my kit, he's just here for his small heal and for his cleanse. Removes one random debuff from all allies at the start of this champion's turn, and that happens every turn, which is why you'll see here, 220, 247, 245, 265 and 254. So Doom Priest, even in the 2-1 rotation when it's set up, will be going first after the clan boss when everyone is in rotation, meaning he will cleanse off poisons, decrease accuracy, decrease speed. He will cleanse off the stun. So in this, if you're having problems with stun targeting or affinity bosses, get Doom Priest in, get him set up just to go first after the clan boss when you're in rotation and all the speeds are correct. He'll cleanse off your stun, he'll cleanse off your decrease accuracy, he'll cleanse off anything the clan boss can put on you every rotation, and he then still goes again, so does get that little bit more damage out. And if we come out of this, as you can see, we're talking, with my void setup, we're talking 50 million a key on Ultra Nightmare, 45 million a key on Nightmare, and it will hit again for about 50, 55 on Brutal. So let's jump in. So if we go to battle, what we're going to do is just to make sure this works, every time I'd recommend everyone, you click your team setup, you make sure the team you want to run with the setup you want is set with a little tick here. Take it off, put it back on, just make sure that is clicked. Close out, start on auto. If I hit start, we'll let this run for a couple of rotations just to show that it is going to run. This is now full auto. I believe it takes till turn count 3 or turn count 4 to be fully in sync. So as you'll see, Santa A1, and then we'll come back round. Seeker goes A1, Invincible from Warcaster. Then we come back round, A1 again. Because this is where, this rotation is where it would throw you out now, because Santa would normally do his shield buff there, not his Unkillable buff, which would throw you out. So there we go, that will run now. Warcaster. The difference I have here between my Void run and my Affinity run is Fane's speed. So Fane is actually slightly slower than Doom Priest is, which means her rotation on the middle of the turn is slightly off. but her rotation at the start of the turn is exactly where it would be for Doom Priest and exactly where we would be for the cleanse. So what we'll do is we will jump over and we'll catch this at the end and have a look at the damage that it's actually managed to do. Right, there we have it, guys. Turn count 45, 47 million damage, 13 minutes. So still 3-4 turn counts to go. So we can see now that this has run the full 50 rounds. Well, we'll run the full 50 rounds. And this is simply down to being able to disable Santa's A2. If you have any problems with this, or any problems with your clan boss team, or any problems with the new features, I stream every Monday, Wednesday, Friday over on Twitch, link in the description below. Down below will also be my other social media, so feel free to drop by, drop me a like, see any future content that's coming, or anything that we've got coming up over here or on the Twitch channel. So that's pretty much me for now, so I will catch you next time. I hope you all have a great rest of the day, and look forward to seeing you all again soon.